So often we see videos where people are showing their perspective of their class or whatever, and what we don't often get along with that is what's going on in their heads during the encounter, why they're doing the rotation they're doing. So I wanted to set up a little series where as I'm fighting these bosses, I'm explaining why I'm casting what I'm casting, why I'm doing whatever and moving to wherever at any given instance, so that maybe, you know, folks who are trying to become better disc priest players can maybe get some insight into my style of playing. I need to point that out. There's many different styles of playing. My style tends to be more of an AOE type style, and you know, the decisions I make are reflected in that approach. So with this series, hopefully I can impart some knowledge and help some folks improve their skills playing disc. Alright, Heroic Jaina is a multi-phase fight. It starts here on the boat. There's a number of mechanics we have to watch out for here. First of which is getting the avalanche debuff on you. Now, that has some benefits as well as some drawbacks. If you get it, you need to try not to drop it on people, but you also need to use it to clean up the fire. When you get that, do your best to clean up the fire. The second thing to watch out for are when the ads come flying in and dropping bombs. If you get hit by one of these, it's probably going to kill you. It's very likely going to launch you off the boat. The biggest two things you can do in this first phase are not stand in those red spots and handle the avalanche correctly. Beyond that, you're doing atonement heals. You do radiance as often as you can. I don't find myself doing a lot of raid-wide healing here because it's usually individuals taking damage. So while I do want to keep my radiances up, I tend to do a lot of shielding and penance heals. The second thing is when she does that ring of fire, you have to stand in the fire in order to get unfrozen when she does that. Another thing you can do is, for those people who do not get in the fire, you can do a mass dispel and clear those off as many people as are in range, and you can do single dispels as well. Now throughout the fight, 3 people will also get frozen. You need to be able to dispel them as well. It's important to do that because they also need to not be standing in stuff, and they can't not stand in stuff if they're frozen to the ground. So the big things here are not standing in the bombs in the fire, using the avalanche to clear the fire, but not all of it because you need it during the Ring of Frost phase, and then again trying to do as much atonement healing as you can with all the movement that's involved. Now, there's one other thing here to be wary of. Now you'll see right here I got the avalanche. That usually falls on 2 people, and I tried my best to get up here and get it out of the melee, get the fire out of the melee and away from the tanks. So that was my primary goal there. Also, there tends to be quite a bit of damage that goes out after the Ring of Frost. What I will do when that happens is I will pop out and do a Halo and a Shadow Covenant to bump up the rest of the raid. Beyond that, it's really getting Jaina to phase in the proper time, which, as you can see, she just did. What we do is we run to the exit of the boat and we wait until it actually phases. And this is one of the coolest animations in the game right here. Just blows me away every time. I love it. I would admit that I probably wiped the team a few times just so I could see that animation some more, but it wouldn't be true and everybody would hate me if I did. So that didn't happen. So I tend to pause with these tornadoes and go on the right side once they've gone through. Now I shield as many people as I can shield to give them body and soul to run faster. also just to do some damage avoidance. And we just kind of wait there at the entrance until we can get this phase to start. We do a rotation where we do this rear left munitions barrel first in order to get the fire out, and then we rotate clockwise until we get back to the wall. We only pop those at certain times. Your raid lead needs to time those out for you. At this phase, I'm trying not to get any stacks. I'm trying to relieve myself of any frost stacks. I am doing radiance heals. I am shielding individuals, and I am moving with the group to the next ammunition barrel, continuing to do as much AoE healing as possible. This is where you make up for the single target healing in the first phase. You get to do a lot of radiances here, a lot of halos. Just keep as many atonements up as possible, and pump that damage through. So each time the barrel goes off, of course, you want to drop your stacks. You want to help get people out of ice block. You want to not stand in the various things that can get you the frost stacks, like that thing that just went across the middle of the room. I don't know any of these mechanics. I just know not to get at them. Okay, so we're ending up over here by the wall. If at this point now you don't want to drop any, now I didn't mention this, if you get any of the broadside, you have to go drop that on the barrel. It's very important that you do that. So you drop that on the whatever barrel is next. But if you're out of barrels like we are now, if you get broadside, you just run it out of the group. But the broadside needs to be dropped on the barrels in the previous sections in order to knock the ice off of the barrels so that they can be burned down and then ignited. So at this point we are trying to get Jaina to phase. Once she phases, we all burn the wall down.
Erica, you need to let me hold until your stacks fall off. Stop taunting. You have 22 of the stacks.
So once we push Jaina to phase, we're already here standing by the wall. As soon as the wall section opens up, we all turn to attack it. We avoid avoiding these glacial rays and these other mechanics that add stacks. Glacial ray will actually one-shot you. So we phase to the wall now. We all pop our cooldowns, everything we have, in order to get the wall down. If we don't, this is a wipe. Just pop everything you have. Do not use your pots here. We don't lust until the very end. So you don't want to pop your pots or anything like that. All right. So now you run down to the end of the hall. You break Nathanos out of the ice. So not a lot of damage going out here. I actually spend this time recovering mana. If I do any attacks, I'm using Power Word Solace, or I'm using my Shadow Fiend. Whatever, but I'm trying not to cast a lot here. I'm trying to recoup mana because the last phase is very
key to Jaina is to make sure you guys are stacked, right?
Hectic for healers. You have to pump a lot of heals through while you're not ice blocked. Now there's a strategy we go through where we let a couple of people get ice blocked, and then we break them out, and then they're usually the high AoEs, and they break everybody else out. We try to balance it out. So I'm keeping up atonements. I'm doing as much raid wide healing as possible. Now there's still not a lot of damage going out here, but I'm prepping for what's going to happen next. So you'll see me casting my radiances, and then I'll run in. Now our job, we wanted to stack up here, which we did, and I'm continuing now to pump damage through as much as possible. I'm popping everything I have. And trying to avoid like the ice ball there, other things. Now, if you get broadside, any of the debuff damage components that you get on here, you need to run out of the group. You see the ice shard there, you want to get out of the path of that. So keep the tanks alive, very important. They're going to get ice blocked. So when they do, you need to,
Ice blocks are
you know, do whatever you can. I dropped a barrier there on everybody. Again, doing everything I can to do raid-wide healing, and when people get ice blocks, switching over to them. Yeah, to get them out, and then of course back to Jaina, and again avoiding these huge damage debuffs like those, like the broadsides that just went out. And again, just sitting on her, pumping through as much damage as possible. Now I got a broadside on me here towards the end. I had 12 stacks. I was rapidly getting stacks. I needed to run out of the group. I ran out of the group and I died. We were able to finish it off. We were far enough along, but it's, you know, with this fight, if you die early, it's a wipe. So dying late is not such a big deal at this point. That we had a very small percentage left to go. So
Your horde will be broken.
3,
Stabilize.
2, 1.
Freeze.
Stabilize.
there's the glacial ray again. You're avoiding these things. Now I'm at low health.
It's already
I'm at 17 stacks,
Who else am I getting
and
Micro. Heroes. Stabilize.
we ignored the prismatic image. Continued attacking Jaina, and I got my broadside. So I got the broadside. I've got like 20 stacks. I run out of the group, and then I'm slowed, so I can't get out of the broadside in time, and it killed me. You know, that's not a failure to understand mechanics. That's I just got screwed, and that's fine because everybody else was able to pull this out, and we finally got our head of the curve, and we were so proud of it. So congrats to everybody.
Hell yeah.
And but we won.
Congrats,
Yep,
everybody.
like I just said.
Hey, appreciate the help.